I'm on B. There's 3 people around B. Oh, we gotta get B, dude. We gotta make sure they don't.
I should have some good tags there. Yeah, I got 4.
Nice! 4? That's just messed up. That clutched it up, honestly. That's a true. Or bad enemies. There's a rocket. Good kill, good kill. I didn't do shit the last half of that game.
Yo, what is going on, Guardians, and welcome back to another Destiny 2 gameplay video. Hey, in this video I wanted to share with you guys a build I've been using recently that I've had a lot of success with and a whole lot of fun. And it's pretty nasty for crowd control, and you're going to see that here. So this is the basic outline of the build, and it all centers around Arc Web. So I'm on my Stormcaller, top tree, and a lot of people use arc bolts. I prefer pulse grenades because you can miss the initial grenade toss, and if somebody runs past it and gets tagged, bingo, Arc Web is active. And I'm using Demolitionist on an Epicurean. So this is the Menagerie fusion rifle, is the role I'm working with, and that Demolitionist is key because this whole build centers around getting your grenade back for every single engagement. And then on top of that, I'm running armor with 5 Ordnance mods, light reactor, a fusion rifle scavenger perks, a fusion rifle reload speeds, so and transversive sets, which I'll circle back to in a little bit. But this build is absolutely disgusting. I want you to spend some time watching the lower left hand side of the screen during this gameplay here in this video, because you're going to see the grenade energy just replenishing so fast. Sometimes I'm getting my grenade, well, depending on what I do, sometimes I'm getting it back in, you know, less than 10 seconds if I'm just going on kill streaks with the fusion rifle. Like, look at this, watch this. There's a kill, bam, kill, bam. The energy is just stacking up. Usually about 3 fusion rifle kills and it is back. And then here, Arc Web itself, look at that, throw one grenade. And in less than a second after the first tag, less than 1 second, I had my grenade back. And there, it's only 2 guys stuck in the grenade, and I had it back in 1.5 seconds. 1.5 seconds, my grenade is back. So that is really what this build is all about. It's about being able to manage multiple people, being able to manage chaotic scenarios, because Arc Web is helping me manage the crowds, even though I'm extended by myself, completely surrounded, etc. So between Arc Web, if you're not familiar with how Arc Web works, since Arc Week, basically they buffed it. What happens is every time your grenade is getting damage tags via Arc Web, every time that arc energy chains from one person to the next, it jumps up your grenade cooldown rate. So it sort of jump starts your grenade every time it tags. So if there's like 3 tags back and forth between 2 guys, when your grenade is back, it's cooled down, it's ready to go. So that compounds with my 5 Ordnance mods, compounds with Demolitionist on my fusion rifle, and all these things stack together just to make sure that, you know what, my grenade is just always ready to go. And that's massively important because of the way that I play. My playstyle, it sort of demands that I have crowd control as an integral part of my build, and I'll circle back to that as well. So here's the thing, my struggle is that I'm really aggressive. I'm a really aggressive player, but people don't play my pace. So, well, I mean, there are obviously exceptions, but for the most part, I get a lot of teammates that don't play at my pace in quick play. And that's understandable because if you're not familiar with how quick play works, what it does is it's connection based. It pulls in 12 people at random purely off of their connection to each other. So it pulls in these 12 people, but then there's a phase 2. Okay, there's a phase 2 where the game looks at these 12 players and it says, okay, well, how can we make what might be the most fair and balanced teams out of these 12 players? Now, given how much I play, how often I play, you know, the stats on my character, my overall skill level, what that generally means, and this isn't supposed to be like a humble brag or anything, this is just the reality of it. What that means is that I tend to have players that are a little bit lower on the skill gap on my team. because it's trying to balance these teams out. You know, it's going to give a heavy hitter, and then it's going to compensate, swing the other end by giving me some lesser skilled players. Generally speaking, you know, sometimes you get into a lobby where there's like 5 really, high caliber players that are about my skill, and so it's a little bit more of an even distribution. But generally speaking, this happens a lot where I'll top frag the lobby by 20, sometimes 30 kills, and that happens. That's just reality. So because of that, I have teammates that they don't really play my pace. They're not extending as far up as I am, especially with the new Revoker quest, with the Beloved being out there. You're seeing a lot more players who tend to, they sit back and they want to play their life. They want to do some laning. They're trying to get better at sniping, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it means that I am often outnumbered. I'm often sort of the spearhead on my team that's pushed up and in the face of opponents. So I need to be able to offset that with some good crowd control. And, because I catch a ton of aggro. If you had to choose between the guy that's up in your face and doing damage to the guy that's in the back with a sniper rifle, you're probably going to go for the immediate threat first. It just makes sense. So I offset that with builds like this one. Arc Web and Storm Trance, the super. I mean, they're all about managing crowds. They're all about doing chain damage to multiple opponents and helping even your odds. So that's why I like this build. That's why it's really good for me personally in my playstyle. And in this video, in the gameplay, I'm often very much surrounded. There's often lots of red around me, and I'm extended way past my team by choice. And I think that the gameplay really does supplement the commentary here, so it's certainly worth watching. Look at that. Look at all those tags in the back. And then the guys that jump up on the balcony with the Epicurean. And right there, my grenade is back. It's 100% back. It's ready to go. So I'm absolutely loving using this build. I will 100% continue to use this build. Now, one thing that is worth noting is that since my Epicurean has Demolitionist on it, I forego a god roll for insane range. So this roll on this fusion rifle, it 100%, it cannot compete at range with an Aaron Till. And I've played against a lot of Aaron Till users while getting the footage for this video. In fact, right here on this particular match on Gambler's Ruin, there was a guy that top fragged the enemy team and gave me the most run for my money. He was using an Aaron Till. I had to start getting creative about the way that I close my gaps, because this fusion rifle that I'm using, my roll in the Epicurean, it's really a down and dirty fusion rifle. It's really a up in your face aggressive kind of a fusion rifle because of the roll on it. It can't map people the way that an Aaron Till can. And so that's one of the reasons I really like using transversive steps. There's a couple reasons I like it, but one, I can close gaps a lot better with the transversive steps on, because it increases your movement speed, obviously, your sprint speed, your slide distance, things like that. And not only does it help me close gaps, but also helps me create gaps. Since I'm extended a lot, I'm usually the guy that gets the super popped in his face. Usually. I catch a lot of super aggro. So I need to be able to about face and sprint away and do some warlock skating to get away in time to not take damage to those supers. And I'm able to kite a lot of supers because of transversive steps. Also, it helps me because I don't have to reload. I can stay engaged in the fight, and as long as I'm moving, as long as I keep running and I'm really in the heart of the fight, I don't have to reload my guns. And that is massively helpful, because reloading guns often gets you killed. That's downtime that you can't defend yourself. You can't ready your weapon in time if somebody comes up on you and pushes you. So man, it is really hard for me, honestly, as a warlock. When I'm playing my warlock, it is so hard for me to not run transversives, because I'm always ready for that fight. It's the same reason I have a hard time taking off Dragon Shadow when I play on my Hunter, because Dragon Shadow, it's just like, I'm ready. I'm always ready to go because of Dragon Shadow. It's the same thing applies to the transversives. All right, well, I hope that you enjoyed the gameplay. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and hopefully you found it helpful and entertaining. Let me know if you use this build, if you go out there and you try and find an Epicurean with Demolitionist, or maybe you have another weapon with Demolitionist. Let me know how you feel about it. Is it fun? Does it work? Curious to find out. All right, thanks for watching the video, guys. I hope to catch you in the Crucible. Bye-bye.